The next topic is a Java development kit. Okay, that is the Java, which is software which is JDK 1.6 version. It is comes with a number of development tools. There, applet viewer enables to run a Java applet, right? And Java C, it is a Java compiler. And Java, just Java, if you give in the command prompt, it is a Java interpreter. And Java Edge, it produces header files for use with native methods. Say for example, some header files are there which we want to include it. Okay, whenever we want to include that, so it is we are going to give a Java Edge. And Java P, it is a Java disassembler. Java DOC, which creates a HTML document for Java source code file. JDB, it is a Java debugger which helps us to find the error. So Java building and running process. Okay, open the notepad and type the Java program, a simple program. You can how you are going to run a Java program in the how we are going to run a simple Java program is we have to open a notepad and we have to type the program, simple program, same simple Java program, example class sample1. It is the name of a class, and public static void main string arguments within the square bracket system.out.println. Welcome to Java. So this is the code which we are going to execute. That is the message which we are going to print. Welcome Java, right? And class name, when we are going to run a Java program, we have to give the class name itself with the extension of Java. As we know that the extension always gives the information about what is the kind of the file it is. Suppose you are going to give a Java dot C, then it is a C programming file. If you are going to give a CPP, then it is a C++ programming file. Similarly, for Java program, we give the extension .java extension to indicate that it is a Java programming file, right? And say system, as I told, Java is a pure object-oriented program. It takes the objects and the classes itself. Println is the statement whenever we want to print or display something on the screen of your computer, we are going to give a println. Okay, system.println, it is going to display the message whatever we are going to give it in the double quotes. Okay, so this is the code for the Java, and this is the class beginning and end of the program, right? So the public static void main, as I told, the compiler is always searches for the main in C++, Java, and the C program. So exception in Java, for applets we don't require the main heading. Okay. So now this is string arguments. It is going to show that we have some group of arguments in the program. So public, as I told, it is accessible to everyone. So description of this simple program Java will explain. So we have to declare a class called as a declaration of the class, which is going to given as a class keyword and the name of the class. Declares a class which is an object oriented construct. So sample one is a Java identifier which is going to specify the name of the class to be defined. Normally, what program we are going to do inside that code, right, the same name we are going to specify as the class name. Since this is just to show that it is a simple program just for the welcome message, right? So sample program, and we are going to declare it as a class name as a sample one. So as we know that it is a Java, C++, and C are all block structured programming. So block structured programming means the scope of that statement or the variables are having the scope only in that particular class. Okay. So that block structure program are enclosed with a pair of braces, right? That is a curly brackets, we call it as, or in ordinary mathematics we call it as the flower brackets. Every class definition of Java starts with opening braces and ends with a matching one, right? The main line, that is the line with a public static void main, defines a method name called as a main method. Java application program all must include this main. So this is the starting point of the interpreter from where it starts executing. As I told that the interpreter in Java and compiler and C++ and C, they always searches for the main heading to start its execution. A Java program can have any number of classes, but only one class will have the main method. The public, this keyword is an access specifier that declares the main method as unprotected and therefore making it accessible to all other classes. So static keyword defines a method as one that belongs to the entire class and not for a particular object of the class. The main must always be declared as static, okay, because it should accessible to all the it is accessible outside the this, okay. So that's why we have to declare the main must always be declared as a static. As we know that the void is a modifier that indicates does not return any value, okay. So normally in C++ and ANSI standard, right? So what happens, suppose if you don't mention return type for the main, okay, so by default it is going to take it as a int, right? Whereas in case of main method in a Java, we are going to specify with a void as a modifier, which is going to specify that it is a the does not return any value. The println, there are two statements in Java called as output statements. One is a println, the other one is a print. Okay. The print statement will not bring the cursor to the next line, whereas println is the one which is going to bring the cursor to the next line and it starts printing. So that's why println, print in the next line. It is a method of the object out of the system class. So system is a one class. As I told, Java is object oriented program. It works only based on the classes and the objects. Okay, println is a method which is defined in the system class. It is similar to the printf or cout in C or C++. So what we use in printf in C, the same the function here println also will do the job, and cout object in C++ same the in the Java. So next is we have to after that we have to save the above program with a .java extension. Here file name and class name should be same, example sample1.java. Okay, we are the name of the class whatever we are given here, say sample1, same name we are going to use it for the class name also, sample1.java. Okay, so we have to save with the extension Java. Here file name and class name should be the same. So that's why what we will do is we are going to give a sample1.java. Okay, so then open the command prompt and compile the above program with the Java compiler. In the command prompt we have to run the command prompt, and when you're going to get the command prompt you have to give the command java c, and the file name of the program is with sample1.java. That class name and the file name will be the same in the Java program. So then from the above compilation, the Java compiler produces a bytecode that is called as a with the extension class file. Okay, that is called as a Java extension. Bytecode is going to be generated from this Java compiler after compilation, right? After the getting the with if any errors are there, it is going to give the error message. Okay, we have to correct those errors. Again, we have to compile the Java program under the command prompt. Then finally, we have to run the program through the interpreter Java sample1.java. See here, so we have to run execution of the Java program with the interpreter Java sample1.java. Okay, it is an interpreter. Then if any logical errors are there, it is going to give the error message. If there are no logical errors, then the output of the program will be that is a welcome to Java. So implementing a Java program contains three stages there: creating the source code, compile the source code, okay, execute the program. Okay, creating the source code, compile the source code, then the execute the program. So create the source code. Any editor can be used to create the Java source code. After coding, the Java program must be saved in a file having the same name of a class containing the main method. Java code file must have .java extension. Okay, after coding the Java program, we have to save the file having the same name of the class which is containing the main method, and Java code file must have the extension called as a .java extension. So compile the source code. Compilation of the source code will generate the bytecode. As I told in the command prompt, we have to give a Java C, then file name .java extension, right? The compilation process takes place. If any errors are there, we need to correct. We have to edit the program and you have to correct the error. If no errors are there, then this Java compiler is going to generate the bytecode. Then JDK must be installed before the completion. Java program can be compiled by typing the Java C, then file name .java. So it will create a file called filename.class containing the bytecode. It will create a file called filename.class class containing the bytecode. Okay, after compilation, that Java compiler will generate the bytecode. Then after compilation, the next process of execution part, executing the program. Java program once compiled can be run at any system. Okay, and Java program can be executed by typing Java, just the Java, right? And you have to give the file name. Okay, so once if you are going to give the file name, then you will get the output of the program. So as I told, we have the Java virtual machine. That is a when we are going to write a Java code with a Java extension, and that compiler is going to convert this high level language into the bytecode with a .class extension, right? And this bytecode which is going to be sent to the Java virtual machine, right? So Java virtual machine can be run under any operating system, right? So this that means write once and run anywhere. Okay, and Java virtual machine can be run under Windows, and it can be run under Linux, and it can be run under the Mac. The concept of write once, run anywhere, known as a platform independent, is one of the important key feature of Java language that makes Java as the most powerful language. Not even a single language is idle to this feature, but Java is closer to this feature. The program written in one platform can run on any platform, provided the platform must have the Java virtual machine. Java virtual machine is a virtual machine that can execute Java bytecode. It is a code execution component of Java software platform. Java virtual machine is a virtual machine that can execute the Java bytecode, and it is a code execution component of a Java software platform. Okay. Now next is that So when we were going to solve more examples on Java, okay. So it is a program, we in the above example we just written only one line of code, right? When we have multiple lines, that is more than one line, we are going to write, right? See, so this is a program which is going to find the square root of some given number, okay. Square root, you means you know that square means multiplying two times is called a square. Square root means we are going to take the number which is going to be the exact that is finding the square root of a number. So that requires the math header file. So what we will do, whenever we want to execute some mathematical functions, we use a math library, import java.lang.math, okay, mathematical header file, okay, class square root, because the name of the class is same as the whatever the program we are doing. Okay, square root is the name of the class we are going to give, and that is a class. Then is and public static void main, every program except applet programs, this will be there, okay. String args arguments within the square bracket, it contains more number of that is strings, right? And double x is equal to 5, that means you are taking assigning some constant as a 5, okay. And x is a some variable which is going to store the value as a 5, and double y is a variable which is going to store the square root of that number, okay. Now see, y is equal to math dot square root of x. Why it is given math dot square root? Because square root function is under the class math, right? So where if the math is a one class which contains all the mathematical functions. That is the reason why we are given math dot square root of x, okay. Then system dot out dot println. So where we are storing that square root value, that square root value we are assigning to the y, okay. Now this when we want to print the square root of that x value which is stored in a y, so we are going to give system dot out dot println y is equal to plus y, okay. So this is about the structure of the Java program, right? And we are going to print the value of a square root of a given number. It is a constant value. Okay, we are assigning some constant value. Even you can input the value and you can find the square root of any variable. Okay, it is a constant. A constant is what? It is a one value which does not change. Every time if you are going to run any number of times, it is finding the square root of a 5 itself, right? So when we want to find some other number, we have to input that number, that is called as a variable. Okay, we need to input the variable. So Java program structure contains 6 stages. That is whenever we are going to write a Java program, so I can say that is structure of a Java program we call, or structure of, we have structure of C++ program, structure of C program, right? In structure of C program, what we are doing is we have the header file section, right? Then declaration of the global variables, main program. After the main we have the declaration of very local variables, right? And we have compound statement with a closing bracket of the main program. Okay, and below that we have the function definitions. Okay, this is what the structure of a C program. And when you come to the structure of a C++ program, the first is the header files, that is including our hash defined files. We call it as a preprocessor directives. And in C also we are going to include these preprocessor directives, right? After that in C++ language we have to declare the class, right? We call it as a class declaration. Then we have a class definition, Then after class definition, we have the main program. Okay, that is the structure of a C++ program. Similarly, Java also contains some of the structure. Okay, structure of the program. Thus, any Java program structure will contain the 6 different portions. Okay, the first portion is called as a documentation section, where it is documentation section contains the comment lines describing about the program. So your documentation section will contain a set of comment lines describing about the program. It is going to describe that this is the program. Okay, so which is going to contain defined comments, that is about a problem statement maybe, or the whatever the what the program actually does. Maybe you are defining about the logic of the program, maybe, or you may be defining about the statement what it does, right? That we call it as a documentation section, or you may be defining the problem statement to the program itself. Okay, then next is a package statement. The next section will be the package statement. The first statement allowed in Java file is a package statement. This statement declares a package name and informs the compiler that the class defined here belongs to the package. Say package space, then you have to give the package name. Okay, this is a statement. First statement allowed in Java file is called as a package statement. It declares the package name and informs the compiler that class defined here belongs to the package. Okay, then third is import statements. Import statement instruct the compiler to load the specific class belongs to the mentioned package. Import space student dot test. Okay, so that is a whatever, whenever we want to work on some mathematical files, input output files, there are some header files, right? So that we need to exec, that we need to the import, that is a we have to take extract those files. Okay, so an interface is next is a interface statements. An interface is um, an interface is like a class but which includes a group of method declaration. This is an optional statement. Sometimes you have the interfaces statement, sometimes you some program does not contain the interfaces, right? It is an optional statement. Class definition, a Java program may contain multiple class definition. The class are used to map the real world objects. Okay, so we have to define the class. Okay, you may be using one class or you may be defining more than one class. So multiple class definition, so they are used to define and do some task, given task to the problem statement. Okay, then the last section, as I told, all the object oriented programs are bottom up approach, right? So your main program or the main method class, the main method creates objects of various classes and establishes a communication between the methods and the objects. That is a communication between them. On reaching to the end of the main program, it terminates and control goes back to the operating system. That is the reason why for any main method in Java program, we are going to give a void that indicates that this particular Java program does not return any values. Okay, this is about the structure of a Java program. It will have the documentation section, it will have the package statement, it will have an import statement, and interface statement is optional. If any program which is required the interface, then that statement will be present. Then you the class definition and you will have the main method class. Okay, so these are the different stages or sections of your Java program structure. Okay, Then come to the Java command line arguments. So what is this Java line arguments is nothing but the parameters that are supplied in the application program at the time when they are invoked. The main method of Java program will take the command line arguments as a parameter of the arguments variable, which is a string array. It is a group of array of characters, string. Okay. So command line arguments are the parameters that supplied to the application program at the time when they are invoked. The main method of Java program will take the command line argument as a parameter of the argument variable, which is a string array. So come to the next, the command line argument program, how we are going to the execute and how it is going to run. Say for example, class the program name we are given com line test, that is a program name as well as a class name. Okay. Public static void string arguments int count comma n is equal to 0. Just we are taken a integer value as a count and n will be is equal to 0, and we are taken one string. So that is the reason why we are declaring string space str. Str is a string variable, that is it contains group of characters. Okay. Then count is equal to our arguments dot length, number of arguments what we are giving in the Java compiler. Okay, that is a, it is going to count. Okay, then number of arguments will be present in the count. So as soon as it is going to read a string in the command prompt, right? Your count length will be assigned to the count number of arguments. If it is 3, then it is going to give 3. If it is 2, then it is going to go. If it is 4, then it is going to give a 4. So while n is less than count, okay, it's keep on taking all the arguments as a string, and n is going to be incremented by 1. Okay, so count is is going to read the string, and it is going to store it in the, it is going, your argument n will be store it will be assigned as a string, and n is going to be incremented by 1. Okay, then it is going to print what string it has read in the command prompt. Okay, now when after the end of this program, how we are going to execute the program? Java C, the program name is, we are going to compile it, com line test.java. Okay, then after compilation, when that is going to be converted into the byte code, right? Java com line test Java C, C Java space, then C space CPP space Fortran. How many strings are there? Java is one string, first string, and count is incremented by 1, and C is a second string, and CPP is a third string, and Fortran is a fourth string. Okay, so these are the four strings which are present in the execution part of the arguments. That is a main is going to take the 4 arguments. We are test command line test, we are going to do it on Java. First string, second string is C, and third string is CPP, and fourth is Fortran. Okay, so this is about the this is about the Java simple programs, and how the arguments are going to be taken for the purpose of calculating the argument number of arguments which are present in the command prompt. Okay, so